Well, hello and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 107, and today's date is November the 14th, 2023. When we welcome you all, my name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with my co-host, Royce.
Hello.
All right. Well, it's been a very interesting day. I had some interesting visitors today, and we're going to share that with you. And looking through things about our visitor. So we're going to go into that. When I say visitor, it would be a visitor that different dimension came through in a different dimension and opened up what we would call a portal, so we could visualize them to some degree, and obviously they can visualize us. So yeah, that's kind of how our day started. So it's been rather interesting, and well, again, we're going to get into what they had to impart to us, and then we're going to go into just a couple other things too. So let's get going, and we'll tell you who our visitor is. Royce?
Well, you wanted me to tell who it was?
Yeah.
By the name.
Yes. I have a problem pronouncing the name, so I said, would you please do it? So there you go.
It's Quetzalcoatl.
and who is okay, go ahead.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, explain who he is.
You can find a reference to Quetzalcoatl by way of reliefs and statuary in Mesoamerica. There's one particular pyramid that is called La Castillo, excuse me, and it has the steps on either side of the steps. There are quite famous depictions of Quetzalcoatl on either side as a feathered serpent. And at certain times of the year, twice during the year, you can see how the sun hits the steps. You can actually see it's like the serpent coming down the steps, and then you can see it going back up at the opposite time of the year. So it's really quite an interesting depiction.
And that's at Chichen Itza, that many of you may be familiar with. So you can look this up. It's interesting because personally, I've been to Costa Rica, of course, and to Mexico and those areas, but I really have not gotten into this being or know much about him. When I say him, we're going to find out it's not just a him. So it's just interesting that he did come through this morning and gave us some information. And those of you that are very, very familiar with him may even come up with a little more information. So we're going to share what he had to tell us. Now, when I say he, we could see a group of people. They seemed rather human. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. I would say, the typical very tan or the darker skinned beautiful people that you see down in Mexico in the Hispanic regions. But we could tell he had a headdress on that we would recognize him as I guess some people consider him a deity. I don't think he at all considers himself that. He didn't say, but it's like no. But there's one what I'd say man that stepped forward and spoke to both of us, and then we could see groups of people behind him.
Yes, several, like they were in layers. Like the word has just flown away. Yeah.
Like an auditorium type thing?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah. So, they obviously have the means to project into this reality. And so it's quite a technology that they are using.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it was an auditorium. No wonder, because I could kind of see him, but I couldn't as clearly, except the one that was stepping forward.
It's as if they were on stairs. I just thought of that.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because in our visions, both of us separately and not talking yet as to what we were seeing and perceiving, were step pyramids.
Yeah.
So now, oh, okay. Maybe they were sitting on a pyramid then. All right, interesting. Anyway, go ahead and share, please.
Okay, this is what I got. That when this man was talking, he said they were familiar with the turmoil of the times. He was referring to what we here in present time are going through. He stressed the importance of strength of character of all individuals involved, and staying present to refute evil. And he stressed moving forward, and in my mind, when I think of moving forward, it's always that forward and upward, because we want to keep moving forward, but we want to be raising in vibration while we're moving forward. And he said, this age beckons us to break an old pattern, begin anew, built upon the love we have for one another. Break the ties that tether so that all is free to move forward. Our demise was unfortunate, but as the ages have passed, we have moved forward ourselves, and so today we are guardians of the past, warning others not to tread where we have trod, but to be more. And then he expressed his deepest respect for us for the work that we are intent on doing with this podcast.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, I did hear, pardon me, I heard the following words, and he had said it's time to turn this around, and talking about the existing turmoil. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there will be another backlash. I'm like, whoa, like, all right. Then he said, we were on your earth and had to leave. In your time, about 4,000 years ago, and they, okay, I'm just figuring things out right now. So it's like, wow. But it's a we, and it's the people that is known as Quetzalcoatl. Thank you. Yeah. So it's more than just the one person. So he wanted to make sure that we knew that. He said we have the ability to put up screens. So now I know what he means. And that is the projection into this reality from their reality. As I wondered what he was talking about until now. So, we're figuring this stuff out as we're talking to you. He called it trickery, so to speak. But also, they have the screens to help locate and bring down malevolent ones. He did say we are a people in the culture. We have much to share. We have much to show you and share. And that means all of us here on Earth. And he said, we left monuments and artifacts on your planet's surface. Some are in caves. When one studies these items, they will see we were quite advanced at that time. And now we show up again to bring our wares. We do have the ability to shake off the intruders, and so do you. That is why we are back. Like, wow. And I had asked, where on earth will you make yourselves known? And here's some of the places that I don't know if these are definite or what they're considering. So leave it at that. But they are Cuba, Chichen Itza, Southwest United States, Bolivia, Peru, and Western Africa. And on the Western Africa, I couldn't pinpoint any one country yet. So, but I could see it was in the Western, near the coastline. So that's basically it, what he had to share. So he may be showing up, and those of you that have those communications with these people may start having more communication with them. And if they start showing up, and I feel they are in a more physical sense, that they will be making themselves known and sharing their wares, or bringing their wares. And I think that's advanced, more organic technology, and we'll have to see what all that means. So, do you have any comment?
No, I was just thinking about one of the lines that I got. It was staying present to refute evil. It brought to mind a movie that I saw most of this past week, and it was a Will Smith movie called After Earth. It had some quite significant lines in there, and one of them was root yourself in the present, and the imposter will not find you. And I was really drawn to that because it meant something to me. And, you know, when you think of that word imposter, that can show up. There can be imposters in any facet of our lives. Like say, for instance, you are giving help to others, but if you're not grounded in your own life, it's easy to lose track of your own life, and that's when an imposter or somebody else begins to take over your life. So, you know, you can apply that saying, that root yourself in the present and the imposter will not find you. When we're being true to ourselves and our own lives and what we are doing, then it's a lot harder to be taken over by anything that is not true to what you're doing.
It makes sense to me.
And it does to me. It does. It meant something to me.
So, you know, what we've been going through on Earth, and people bringing up Satan or Lucifer, you know, of course, Luce means light. I'm not saying that Lucifer is life. I think it's been hijacked. That whole name has been hijacked. But you're wondering how real Satan is. And a lot of people think he's real. I think the word satanic are those malevolent beings. And a lot of humans do some things that I think are pretty awful. So, you know, is that satanic? I'll label it satanic. That's the word that we have come up with. But it's that fear of Satan versus the danger. And I think you mentioned something. I don't know if you've gone into it yet.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, there was another quote from that same movie, After Earth, and what it says is, fear is not real. The only place fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our own imagination, causing us to fear things that are not in the present or may not ever exist. This is near insanity. But do not misunderstand. Danger is very real. but fear is a choice. And I thought that was extremely profound. We can, with all the stuff going on, it's easy to lose track, to lose your grounding, and to get caught up in all of the fear that's being mongered everywhere. But again, when you keep your thoughts on right now, being in the present, being grounded in your own life, then you don't succumb so easily to the fear.
Yeah, or if you do, and you find yourself in that position, it's like, then what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And
jump back in the present.
And if you feel, shoot, a lot of people are having these issues, holiday time. But I've seen it a lot, and something else would be thrown back at them. They thought something they had gotten rid of, be it family issues, whatever it is. And all of a sudden it's back in their lives, and they're not adapting. That's not even the correct word.
Not processing, not dealing with it.
Not dealing with it very well. Okay, so they go back, they slink back into themselves, and it's like, ooh, so, when you realize you're doing that, you can use that, we've talked about the columns of white light that we can, just take a few minutes of your time, seconds of your time when you find yourself in that, and just stop and just imagine this point of white light over your body, down below your feet, and back up, and you release all that no longer serves you. And just feel it. You can hold it there in the heart area, hold it there, and hold it there, and hold it there. And it's amazing how fast those feelings of the poor me, the victimhood, all of those things that many of us still go through, but we don't have to stay there anymore. And so that is a fear of going back into that reality. Then it's like, oh, or we're going to pull ourselves out of that reality.
And sometimes things happen to bring out that fear, the fears that were placed there a long time ago. Maybe this lifetime, maybe another. But a lot of times we carry things forward that come from our childhood, fears that we think at the time are very real, but when they're not really, but it's very real to us as a child, and so we hold on to it, and it never gets dealt with. We don't know how to express it, and so it's lying there festering all these years, and you grow up, and then all of a sudden these buttons start being pushed, and this fear is coming out, and you don't know where it's coming from until all of a sudden the light comes on, and you remember, oh, that came from such and such an event that happened a long time ago. And then you make the choice. Am I going to keep this, or am I going to let it go? Like Quetzalcoatl said, let me see, where is that? Break the ties that tether. Break the ties that hold you down. Break loose from those fears. They're not real.
Yeah, we just talked about the column of light through you. And do you have any other suggestions about breaking those tethers?
Well, a lot of people will use swords. They'll envision holding a sword, and they actually cut the sword loose from wherever they sense that there is a cord attached to them. A lot of times it's in the gut.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you have to ask a friend to cut a tether from your back because you can't reach it. Help me to get rid of that. But you have to be the one that makes the choice to have it cut.
When you talked about that, it's in your gut, that's the solar plexus.
Sense of will.
Yeah, it's like when you feel like you've been hit in the gut when something happens to you.
Yeah.
That's exactly because of that center, that chakra at that point.
Yeah, and another thing that Quetzalcoatl said was the importance of strength of character of all individuals involved. So if that's our will, our sense of will, that's tied in with our character. If you've got no character if you don't have any sense of will. That's the way I look at it anyway. So I can understand more of what he was saying.
Interesting.
Wow, I didn't realize he said all this.
Yeah, until now. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Because all of this stuff is coming out. This is all part of the Earth rising in its vibrations, and a lot of these beings coming here. Yeah, we see ships quite a bit. Now, sometimes, we've seen with our own eyes. Other times it's in our third eye. And that we know where they're at, and sometimes it's hard to tell how big they are. That even matters, because some of the big ships cannot come that close to Earth, otherwise it throws our magnetics off. So they have to be pretty careful not to do that. Also, they don't want to be seen. A lot of them don't want to be seen. Or if they are seen, it goes into they may have to lower their vibration. So many times a ship will come in. I got into ships, but we are. Ship will come in, and you can see it in the sky, and all of a sudden it'll disappear. So it's going in and out of dimensions and portals or whatever it may be. So anyway, we so it looks like the civilization known as
Quetzalcoatl.
Thank you. I've said it wrong for years and years and years, and so it's hard to.
It was really quite amusing how it was coming out, though.
Thank you. Whatever. I know what I was talking about. But these beings are known as serpent beings, as what Roy said earlier, and
feathered serpent, because that's an attribute of flight. So that implies having come from someplace else.
Yeah, off the Earth.
Off Earth, yeah.
Yeah, they are a lot of step pyramids, I believe, all over the Earth, but they're mostly known in the Mesoamericas, down in Mexico, and into Central America. So, he was saying about their wares and how advanced they were. If you look at some of their architecture, that I don't think we have the equipment today to make it as strong as they made it back then.
It's amazing, some of the things that you find on this planet that our technology is still not caught up to.
Yeah, but we're getting there, and a lot of these beings like them they're coming back. It's like, wow.
like the stuff that they have found at Pumapunku, those blocks that are so precision cut. It's just it baffles your mind.
Yeah,
and the people who live there say, we didn't build it. It was those who came before.
Yeah. Just know that we've had many civilizations that had advanced technologies. We think we are well advanced. However, we are. It's what you relate it to. But there have been beings here that have been even a lot more advanced than ourselves. So coming to share again and to help when they're these beings are going to help us get rid of some of these malevolent. Yeah, I can't say it. Malevolent ones. It's happening, and we're seeing a lot of things come out in the news, and some of them are very hard to believe. I understand that, but it's all being pushed to the surface, and it's not to fear. That's a choice.
That's right.
Well, you can fear if you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you.
Up to you.
But if you like that feeling, I would have to say most people don't. And so it's a choice. So is there going to be a danger, or you look at it a whole different way, and then we start manifesting differently too as we do. If we're going to if you're fearful, you're going to manifest more fear in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really want to do that.
Yeah, it becomes a magnetized energy.
Yeah. So, we talked
birds
about
of a feather flock together.
talking about the feathered serpent here. Yeah. So there, we discussed a couple things of what to do about that, and and you can talk to yourself even to see if something that is so deeply rooted, or talk to a very good friend or a counselor, whatever it may be, to help bring out some of these fears that you all of a sudden realize that you are carrying. You mentioned earlier about in a childhood issue or even a former life issue. When we say former life, another life issue.
Yeah.
That's crept into this life for us to release. So it's to talk it out, and then you'll see that it really is not necessary to hold on anymore. It's not real. It's past, what we would call past, and it has no place in our presence.
Yeah, the past has no power unless we dwell on it and bring it to the present.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. All right.
Yeah, so it's really a wonderful thing that we have the ability to filter some of this stuff out, so we don't have to carry it around, and that's, if you need a counselor, by all means, seek one out, but please do your homework, find a reputable one.
One that you're comfortable with.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So my hat's off to anybody who is in need of a counselor and they seek counseling, because that's a wonderful thing. Realizing you need help and then going for it,
And that's just a release.
Yeah.
Releasing forever, it seems like, doesn't it? But anyway, it's all part of the process that we've been going through and continue to go through. But I feel things are speeding up nicely. And even though we're going through some trying times on this earth and the wars, this, that, it's like, like what's real? It's, are we being fed something that's not real? All of these things going on right now. And who do I believe? What do I believe? And I don't believe anybody anymore. All these things that we've been hearing. And I totally understand that, We're given a bunch of BS, and also there's quite a movement to get us to believe things that are not true.
Yeah.
Some people call it psychotronics, and I don't know if there's other words for it, but the psychology of the human, they know how to control us.
That's mind control. Yes. So being strong in your own beliefs, in your own sense of self.
Just remember how powerful we are, and it's within us. It's in our DNA. More of our power is coming out. Use it, and don't be afraid to use it. And right now, I know people are afraid to speak up and speak out, and we talk about it almost every episode. It's like, please do. That doesn't mean you have to be affront somebody, but you can speak your truth for yourself, and you can do it lovingly.
Yeah.
And if they don't respond kindly, then you
choose another subject.
Choose another subject, or step away from that person.
Yeah.
And let them be, and wish them well, or whatever you want to do. But you can make it nice.
We can get along. It takes effort, though.
Yeah. It's just that that their right has to be your right.
That's right. That has become quite a circle of words.
It does. So, do keep that in mind. But to be afraid, I know people are afraid to go out and speak their truths, and because they could be arrested or they could be say the wrong thing. And I mean, we're hearing all kinds of really weird stuff going on out there. If you do things lovingly, and no, there's no reason why that will not go on and on and on. And people will start waking up to, what really is going on. And we're going to find out what's really going on. We're already finding that out, but it's being dripped out, and probably a little more than dripped out. It's coming out pretty fast.
Yeah, and we have some pretty important documents here in the United States of America. One is called the Constitution. One is called the Bill of Rights. The amendments. We have an awful lot of information that has been fought for. So it will do us no good, though, if nobody knows what it says. So my advice would be for everybody to look up these documents and to see what it says. And the Declaration of Independence. There's some really amazing power in those papers, in those documents. An awful lot of thought was poured in to those documents. So please, at least read them to see what they say to you.
All right, thank you. All right. I could go on that one, but I know a lot of other people do, and the United States is changing, and we feel it's the Republic of the United States, no longer the corporation, and that's coming out now. And I think we're going to see more on the economic side of things, but do not fear, there's that word fear, that you're going to lose everything, because that is out there. That is being told to a lot of people. The financial collapse. Yeah, I think there's going to be a financial collapse, and I really don't know much about all this. I read a lot, but I don't understand it. Just leave it at that. But I do feel that, we're going into a new system. So there's going to be a switch. And I think we're going to find out we have a lot more freedom. So I think once we're through all of this, it's going to be quite amazing. And I think we're going to be a happy, one happy world as we go through these changes. And it's not going to necessarily look like it has been, because we have seen changes in country boundaries and states within the United States, and just all kinds of things that are changing. And that can be a wonderful thing. So look at it that way. But if it's something that you really don't think it's for the freedom for ourselves, then you have every right to speak up.
Yeah, but do give some thought to how wonderful it really is, just the thoughts of being gold-backed, meaning there is substance there backing the financial system rather than fiat, which is nothing.
Yeah.
Paper.
Moving out of that fiat system, and it's going to be scary for a lot of people. Don't realize that we've been out of that system, I believe, since 1971. So going back to the asset-backed or gold-backed currency. So I do think that we have plenty of gold and other precious metals to back up what we're talking about and our money system. So I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful. And the world's going to be operating on a more balanced level.
Yeah. So we're in a transition period.
Yeah.
This is the hard part, because when you're in transition, your feet don't know where they're going to land. So we're kind of floating, what do we do? Where do we go next?
Right now is just stay in the present, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I was going to say something, one more thing. It left me. So don't, oh, I know, I was going to say, I still hearing people say, I don't like change. And I'm like, and then I'm thinking,
Well, you're on the wrong planet.
Okay, we're changing. But think of it this way. That change that I'm seeing once we get through this is going to be so much more wonderful than where we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it that way, are you fearful of wonderful things in your life? Just look at it that way. And I would say most of us say no. We're not fearful. Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, just think of all the people who came before, who, that they were just living a mundane, so life, but then somebody came along who had an idea, who had a sense of imagination. They could imagine something a little different, a little better, something more, something that gave them something to strive for. That's the sort of thing that sets your heart free.
It's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because it gets you into that excitement state. And I've noticed some of the energies lately, and some of those days recently, by the way. I wasn't in that excited state.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm the only one. And so I was feeling that energy, and I pulled out of it. So.
Yeah, and I experienced the same thing where it's like I could hardly get out of bed. All I wanted to do was sleep. And then something got me fired up. Something stirred that fire inside of me. And, I don't feel like that anymore. I don't feel like sleeping. I'm awake again.
Yeah. But if you're going through that, it's okay. And you know that, the changes are going on within you. So that's a pretty neat thing to see. All right. Well, I think we've come to an evening that was a little bit different. It's evening here. But it's really what's going on right now, and appreciate the visit from the people known as
Quetzalcoatl.
Thank you. So more to come on that, and some of you that are have been students of the culture, etc., may be also realizing more information and can bring that forth along with these people. So we appreciate him stepping in, or them stepping in today to get this moving. So it's a wonderful thing on both sides, and I don't call it both sides, but both cultures, Earth culture and their culture. So I don't know. To me, it's very exciting. So it's going to be fun to see what they have to bring back to the Earth. So.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Our next podcast will be on the 28th of this month, and so stay centered and stay in peace as much as you can.
And for us here in the United States, we have the holiday of Thanksgiving, and that will have transpired. So we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. And, here in the United States, even on our worst days, we have so much to be grateful for. And I can truly say that I am so grateful for this opportunity to be with my friend Bev, and for us to do this podcast together, connecting with all of you. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for staying.
Thank you. Remember the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's worldwide. Thanksgiving is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's giving thanks. So do remember that always. So thank you and enjoy. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. All right. We love you all. Blessings to you all. And good night.
Good night.